The stars over Olaris were beautiful, calm, and silent. But deep below the surface of this peaceful planet, something dark was happening. Commander Vile stood in front of the High Council. His face was pale, his hands trembled. "They have broken through the outer shields," he said. "The Krylons are inside our system." A silence filled the large chamber. No one moved. No one spoke. The Krylons were not like other enemies. They were monsters, part machine, part flesh. They didn't take prisoners. They didn't talk. They only destroyed. Planet after planet had fallen before them. And now, they were here. High Counselor Lenara stood up. She looked strong on the outside, but her eyes were tired. "How long do we have?" Vial swallowed hard. "Maybe 2 cycles, that's it." The council began to argue. Some shouted to launch all fighters. Others begged to open peace talks. But Lenara had already made her choice. She turned to the technician at the far console. "Send the signal." The room went silent again. Everyone knew what she meant. There was only one place left to call, one last hope. Earth. The warning in the stars a long time ago, Earth had been part of the Galactic Union. But they were removed. Why? Because Earth was not like other planets. It was a death world. The gravity was heavy, the air was unstable, its creatures were violent. Even its people, humans, were considered dangerous by nature. They advanced fast, fought without mercy, and didn't follow rules. And worst of all, Earth never asked for help. They never begged. They always fought, and they always won. The Union cut contact with Earth 300 years ago. Since then, stories spread across the stars like shadowy warnings. Some said Earth had built weapons that could crush moons. Others said humans trained machines to think like gods. Most stories ended the same way. If Earth arrives, run, a risk. Too great. The technician's hands shook as he typed the command. "Are we sure about this?" he asked. "Once the signal is sent, there's no turning back." "We're out of time," Lenara replied. "Either the Krylons destroy us, or Earth does. I'd rather take the gamble." With a final tap, the message was sent. "To the world once called Earth, Olaris is under attack. We beg for help. If you still exist, please answer." No one spoke after that. They just watched the signal fly into the sky, into the cold void of space. The silence that followed hours passed. Nothing. Then a day. Still nothing. The Krylons moved closer, now only hours from entering orbit. Giant ships blocked the stars. People, across Olaris, prepared for death. Some prayed, others ran. Many just waited. In a dark control room beneath the city, Lenara stood alone, watching the sky. "Maybe they're all gone," she whispered. Then, without warning, every light in the room turned red. A loud siren echoed through the base. "The technician screamed. "Unknown signal, coming fast! It's not Krylon!" Everyone looked up at the screen. One ship, one signal, one word. Earth. The ship arrives. It didn't come with noise. It didn't come with fire. It came quietly, like death. A black ship, shaped like a spear, entered Olarian orbit. It didn't respond to any calls. It didn't ask permission. It just stopped, hovering over the capital city like a shadow. No insignia, no lights, no windows, nothing. Just cold, black steel. The Olarian Defense Commander, General Tern, ordered scans. "It's shielded," he said. "Completely. We can't read anything. Not weapons, not engines, not even life signs." Counselor Lenara stepped forward. "Try to hail them." A message was sent, then another, then 10 more. No answer. The ship did not move. It did not speak. It only watched. The enemy attacks. Just before dawn, the Krylons arrived. 10 massive warships entered orbit behind the human ship. Their weapons locked onto Olaris. The skies turned red. This was it. The end. And still, the Earth ship did nothing. The Olarian army powered up defense grids. Fighters took to the air. Linara stood watching the sky, heart pounding. Why won't they help us? But then, everything changed. One of the Krylon ships fired a missile, straight toward the human vessel. The missile never made it. The Earth ship blinked, just once, and the missile vanished. Gone. No explosion, no light, just disappeared. The room fell silent. Then the human ship moved. A glimpse of power. It didn't fire lasers. It didn't launch missiles. It simply extended two long arms from its sides, thin like blades. The first Krylon ship exploded, before anyone saw what happened. The second was sliced in half, clean, silent, perfect. The third tried to run. It didn't make it. Within 60 seconds, the Krylon fleet was gone. Every ship, every piece, not even debris remained. Only one ship still hovered in the sky. The ship from Earth. Message received. After the battle, the Olarian cities went quiet. People didn't cheer. They didn't celebrate. They didn't even understand what they had seen. Only one message came from the Earth ship. A voice, cold, mechanical, male. Message received. Olaris status defended. No further contact. Do not call. Earth again. Then the ship powered down its weapons and stayed completely still. Olaris had been saved, but not by a friend. Whispers. Across the stars, the news spread fast. From one system to another, rumors flew. Earth responded. They destroyed the Krylons. They're back. Across the galaxy, leaders began to panic. Old enemies started hiding. Peace treaties were signed in fear. No one knew Earth's plan. No one knew if they were still the same species as before. But everyone knew one thing. Sending a signal to Earth comes with a price, and Olaris had just paid it. The black ship still hung in the sky like a shadow. It had destroyed the entire Krylon fleet in under a minute, but now it did nothing. No sound, no light, no reply. It was like a sword floating in the air, sharp, silent, and waiting. A strange silence inside the Olarian High Command. Everyone stared at the main screen. General Tern whispered, "I don't understand. They destroyed the Krylons like insects, and now they just stop." "Maybe," Linara said slowly, "this is their way of watching us." The technician turned from his console. "We've sent 42 messages. No answer. Not even a signal bounce." The Earth ship hadn't moved in hours. No landing. No response. No signs of life. It was like it had already done its job and didn't care what happened next. People began to fear at first. People of Olaris cheered. The Krylon fleet was gone. The skies were safe. But after a day passed, joy turned to fear. Why? Is it still here? People asked. What does it want? Citizens stopped going outside. Ships stayed grounded. Children cried at night. A strange feeling spread across the planet. Fear of the unknown, and Earth was the unknown. Some Olarian leaders wanted to fire weapons at the ship, but General Tern refused. "Do that, and we won't exist in the next second." He was right. No one had ever seen that kind of power before. The first movement. On the third day, something changed. The Earth ship moved, not fast, not with violence. It rotated slowly and pointed toward the ground. Then it released something. Small, silent. Hundreds of them. "Are those weapons?" a soldier asked. "No," said the technician, watching the scans. "They look like drones." The small black drones spread across the sky. Some hovered over cities, others over forests. A few even entered deep space. They didn't attack. They didn't scan anything aggressive. They just watched, like eyes, like Earth was studying everything and everyone. Old stories return. Lenara called a secret meeting with her science advisor, Jor-El. "I need to know what we're dealing with," she said. "What do you know about humans?" Jor-El looked pale. "Only stories. Very old stories. Many are banned." "Tell me." Jor-El took a deep breath. "Earth is called a death world. But that's not just because of nature. It's because of the humans themselves." He opened an old data file full of warnings and half-erased records. They don't think like us. When attacked, they don't run. They don't ask questions. They end threats, entire species, in days. Lenara stared at the screen. "Are they machines?" "No," Jor-El said quietly. "Worse, they're human." A message at last. On the 5th day, as fear spread across Olaris, something happened. A message appeared on every screen on the planet. No one knew how it was sent. It just appeared. A black screen. A single voice. Human. Calm. Cold. Male. "This is Earth. Olaris initiated contact. Threat level resolved. Observation begins. Stand by." That was it. The message ended, but those last two words stayed in everyone's minds. Stand by. Stand by for what? Panic in the council. "This is not help," shouted Councilman Drex. "This is occupation." "They're not even talking to us," another said. "We are being watched like animals." "They saved us!" Lenara shouted. "You want to throw that away?" "No," Drex replied, "but they didn't save us for us. They did it for them. We don't know what they want." "We were dying," she said. "And they answered. None of you did." He slammed his hand on the table. "Because none of us were mad enough to call Earth." The drone enters the council. Just then the doors to the chamber opened. Everyone froze. A small black drone floated in, silent and smooth. No guard stopped it. It hovered in the center of the room and opened a tiny panel. From it, a hologram appeared. A human face. Male. Pale skin. Short black hair. Cold blue eyes. No smile. "This is Commander Reese, Earth Response Unit." He looked around slowly. "You requested assistance. Request answered. Threat neutralized." Lenara stepped forward. "Are you here to speak with us?" "Negative. I am here to deliver a warning." Everyone leaned forward. The room felt like it had no air. "Do not call Earth again," the warning Reese continued. "Earth does not offer alliances. Earth does not ask for trade. Earth responds. That is all." "Then, why are you here?" Lenara asked. The human face stared at her for a moment. No emotion. "Because we heard something different." "Different?" "You did not beg. You did not cry. You fought. You resisted." Earth noticed. He paused, then added, "You may not be a threat. You may not be prey. You may be something useful." Then the drone closed. The image vanished. The drone floated up and exited the room without a sound. The next day, the Earthship released something. It fell gently into the Olarian desert, far from any city. A strange black box. No weapons. No locks. No writing. Inside the box, scientists found a glowing crystal. Smooth, cold, humming with power. They couldn't scan it. They couldn't understand it. But when they connected it to their power grid, the capital city lit up instantly. Energy flowed like rivers. Engines moved faster. AI systems became smarter. Data moved quicker than light. It was a gift, or a test, or a trap. No one knew, but one thing was certain. Earth never gave anything for free. The black ship still floated in the sky. It had not moved since the day it gave the warning. The people of Olaris looked up at it with fear, wonder, and a question that no one could answer. What exactly is a Death Worlder? A dangerous curiosity inside. The capital's grand archives, science advisor Jor-El moved quietly between ancient shelves. He wasn't supposed to be here. This section was restricted, data sealed by the Galactic Union centuries ago. But the Earth ship was still watching, and the box it had given them powered the entire city now. Olaris needed answers. He tapped into the old network and opened the file. Classified. Earth, code name, Death World 001. Access level, prohibited warning, do not engage. Jor-El hesitated, then opened the file. Earth, the first Death World a hologram. Appeared in the air above the dusty terminal. The image was blurry, faded from age, but the voice was clear. Earth is not like other planets. Gravity, high, weather, violent, life, aggressive, environment, lethal. Result, humans, adaptable, unpredictable, unstoppable. Jor-El's eyes widened. The file continued. When humans face death, they evolve. When they face fear, they fight. And when they lose, they come back stronger. Jor-El whispered, "They're built for war." The human wars, he opened another file. This one showed the early human wars against other species. There were videos, grainy footage of soldiers in dark armor, moving without fear. Machines with minds of their own. Ships that folded space and reappeared inside enemy fleets. One file showed a planet, 3 times the size of Olaris, turning into fire in under 5 seconds. Another showed a treaty signed under threat. The final line of the document, Earth does not conquer, Earth erases. Linara learns the truth. Jor-El rushed to the council chamber. "You need to see this," he told Linara. He showed her the records, the history, the warnings. She stared at the screen, pale. "All of this hidden from us?" Jor-El nodded. "The Union erased them from history out of fear. No one was allowed to speak of Earth. And now they're back," Linara whispered. "And we're the first planet to call them in 300 years. Olaris changes in just 1 week. The gift from Earth had changed everything. Power plants now used only 5% of their fuel. Defense systems ran faster than ever before. AI in hospitals had cured diseases thought to be impossible. Even food was being grown 5 times faster. But with every miracle, there was fear. "What does Earth want in return?" people asked. No answer came. The black ship remained still. The drones still hovered silently, watching. The scientist's secret. That night, Jor-El studied the crystal again, the one from Earth's box. He connected it to a quantum scanner. The machine immediately shut down. Then something strange happened. The scanner turned back on. By itself. A message appeared on its screen. "Curiosity is the first sign of strength. Continue." Jor-El sat back, stunned. The crystal wasn't just a power source. It was alive, or worse, it was aware. The galaxy reacts far beyond Olaris. Across the stars, the news of Earth's return had reached other empires. In the Vulmar sector, the High Chancellor of the Teleran Union slammed his fist on a table. They responded to a call? Why? His advisor shook his head. Unknown. But the entire Krylon fleet was destroyed. And now Olaris has Earth tech? Yes. The Chancellor's eyes narrowed. If Olaris allies with Earth, the galaxy will change. Other empires began preparing fleets, some for war, some for surrender, all afraid of one word, Death Worlders. A visit in the Nighton. The 8th night after the battle, Linara sat alone in her chambers. The lights flickered once, then off. When they came back on, someone was standing in her room, tall, pale, wearing a dark Earth uniform. It was him, Commander Reese. She didn't scream. She couldn't. He spoke calmly. "You want to know more about Earth?" Linara nodded slowly. "Good, you should." She gathered her courage. "Why are you really here?" Reese walked to the window and looked at the stars. "We heard a signal, but what we saw was something new." Your people fight back, even when death is certain. That's rare, she asked. So what now? He turned to her. Now, we test you. The hidden test. The next morning, Lenara woke with no memory of Reese leaving. But outside, the drones had moved again. This time, they dropped small devices into the ground. Quietly. Silently. No one stopped them. Soon, strange machines appeared all over the planet, in cities, in deserts, in deep oceans. The council demanded answers. Lenara said nothing, because she already knew Earth was testing them to see if Olaris was strong enough to be part of something bigger. The people of Olaris thought they were safe. The Krylons were gone. The black ship from Earth still watched silently in the sky. The Earth drones were everywhere. There was peace, but peace doesn't last, and the Krylons were not finished. Whispers of return high above the Olarian moon, hidden from all sensors, a Krylon scout ship waited in silence. Its body was cloaked, its systems cold, its mission simple. Observe Earth's weapon. One Krylon officer clicked in his machine language, speaking to the hive leader. The humans only sent one ship. Their fleet is not here. They are vulnerable. Then we strike again, came the reply. A red light blinked. Thousands of Krylon warships were already on their way. Warning from the Star's General Tern stood over the defense console at Olaris Command Base. Suddenly, alarms blared. The sky turned red on every screen. "Incoming vessels!" a soldier shouted. "Krylon signatures confirmed!" "How many?" Tern asked. The technician's voice trembled. "Too many." Earth stays silent. The people looked to the sky. Again. The Black Earth ship was still there. Surely it would help again. But this time, it didn't move. No sound, no message, nothing. Counselor Lenara sent a priority transmission. "This is Olaris. We are under attack. We request immediate support." No reply. The black ship hovered silently, like a judge watching from above. Earth was testing them. And now, the test had begun. The first strike Krylon ships entered Olarian orbit in waves, dark and full of fire. This was not a small fleet. This was a full invasion. Cities were hit. Mountains crumbled. Defense towers exploded. Olaris was fighting, but losing. Lenara stood in the war room, voice steady. "We must not call Earth again. They warned us. Now we must show we can survive without them." General Tern saluted. "For Olaris, a world fights alone fighters launched from every Olarian base. Civilians were moved into bunkers. AI systems powered by the Earth crystal helped intercept some enemy strikes. But it wasn't enough. The Krylon fleet dropped ground units, tall, spider-like machines with red cores. They hunted in silence. Entire cities were swallowed in black smoke, but Olaris refused to fall. Heroes rise. In the desert region of Garan, a small group of resistance fighters used the Earth-powered tech in new ways. They modified old weapons with crystal energy. One shot from these new rifles could melt a Krylon unit instantly. In the sky, an Olarian pilot named Rayan flew through enemy fire, using drone data to outmaneuver an entire squadron. She screamed into the comms, "We don't need Earth to save us. We are Olaris." The test continues. Above it all, the Earthship remained still. It had the power to destroy the Krylon fleet in seconds. But it did nothing. Inside the ship, Earth Commander Reese watched quietly. No emotion, no movement. Beside him, a machine voice asked, "Shall we assist?" Reese answered, "Not yet. Let's see what they become." A city falls, the coastal city of Varner, one of Olaris's oldest and strongest cities, fell after 12 hours of heavy attack. The screams of the dying echoed through the oceans. But before the Krylon leader could claim victory, something happened. Group of young scientists using Earth's gift overloaded a crystal core in the city's reactor. The result was a controlled explosion that erased every Krylon unit in the area. They gave their lives, but saved the planet. Lenara cried when she heard. Earth is watching, she whispered. Let them see who we really are. A turning point. Across Olaris, the people fought harder. They used Earth's technology not to hide, but to fight. AI, weapons adapted in real time. Drone data was reprogrammed to track Krylon command units. Small teams struck deep into Krylon lines using guerrilla tactics. For the first time in history, Olaris stood its ground, alone, and began to push back. Two ships now floated in Olaris orbit. Both were from Earth. Both were silent. Both were terrifying. The second ship looked different, sleeker, longer, more dangerous. It had no name, no visible weapons, just a sharp black hull that seemed to drink in the light. The Krylons saw it too, and for the first time, they hesitated. Frozen sky. From the ground, the people of Olaris looked up in silence. Their cities burned. Their skies were filled with smoke. But their eyes were locked on the second Earth ship. General Tern stared at the sky. Is this it? Are they going to fight? No, said Lenara quietly. They already are. A new kind of weapon. The second Earth ship didn't fire missiles. It didn't send drones. It didn't broadcast any warning. Instead, it released a low, deep pulse, felt across the entire planet, a shock wave of pure energy. It moved through the atmosphere. And then into space. Krylon ships began to blink. Their systems crashed. Their weapons failed. One by one, they went dark. No explosion? A technician asked, confused. Jor-El, the science advisor, watched his scanner closely. They didn't destroy them. They turned them off. Panic in the Krylon fleet. Above Olaris, chaos filled the Krylon ranks. Commands stopped working. Ships began to spin out of control. Their AI minds screamed, trapped inside their own frozen code. Then the Earth ship moved. One moment. It was still. The next, it was inside the Krylon formation. No warning, no engine sound, just sudden movement. The invisible strike. The first 3 Krylon cruisers shattered in perfect silence. Not a flash, not a sound, not even heat. They simply came apart, as if the molecules forgot how to hold together. A fourth ship tried to retreat, but it split in half, then into quarters, then disappeared in a black flash of unknown energy. What is that? General Tern asked, his voice trembling. Jor-El stared at the data stream. That's not a weapon. It's a command. A command? Yes, a command to reality itself. The humans reveal themselves. For the first time since Earth responded, the voice returned. Not from the ship, not from a drone, from inside every head on Olaris. This is Earth. Your response has been noted. You fight. You adapt. You are learning. All. Across the planet, people fell silent. The voice wasn't cold this time. It was proud. The Krylon's last move. The last Krylon mothership prepared one final act, a massive core charged in its center, bright and unstable. They're going to detonate. It! Screamed a pilot. They'll take half the planet with them. Lenara turned toward the sky. No, she whispered. They won't. Earth answers. Before the mothership could activate, the second Earth ship split into 3 parts. The pieces moved with impossible speed, like shadows tearing across space. They formed a triangle around the Krylon mothership. Then, without warning, light itself bent. Time slowed. The explosion was trapped, frozen inside a glowing cube of distorted space. It never touched Olaris. It never reached anything. The cube shrank slowly, then vanished. The death of the void. And then, silence. The last. Krylon's ship was gone. The stars returned. The black ships from Earth floated alone in the sky, surrounded by nothing but silence and dust. On Olaris, people began to cry, not from fear this time, but from survival. They had lived. They had made it. Earth speaks again on every screen. The final message of the day arrived. Commander Reese appeared once more. This time he stood on the bridge of the second ship. His voice was calm, controlled, but different. There was something in his tone, something like respect. You survived the first battle. You faced destruction and chose resistance. You did not call us again, and that is why you still exist. He paused. Olaris has passed. Phase 1. The screen went black. The sky was clear. The black ships from Earth still floated above, quiet and calm. The Krylon threat was gone. Olaris had survived the unthinkable. But something was changing. The war was over. Now. The test was just beginning. Something. Falls 3. Days after the last Earth message, an object fell from the sky. Fast, silent, controlled. It didn't crash. It landed softly in the middle of the old warfield near Varner, the same city the Krylons had destroyed. A black pod, smooth, cold, unmarked. It opened with a slow hiss, and something stepped out, something humanoid. The human soldiers arrived quickly, weapons ready. But the figure didn't move. It stood still, letting them surround him. He was tall, pale skin, dark armor that looked soft but moved like metal. His eyes glowed faint blue. He raised his hands slowly, not in fear, but in control. "I am Commander Reese," he said. "Earth Response Unit. Your Phase 2 begins now." The world watches. Every news network on Olaris broadcasted his landing. Every screen showed his face. People stared in awe. "This is the one who spoke to us," they said. "Yes," someone whispered. "This is the Death Worlder." Reese was escorted to the Capitol Tower under heavy guard, but he didn't resist. He walked calmly, like he already knew the way. Meeting the council inside the High Council chamber, Reese stood before Lenara and the others. He did not bow. He did not speak first. Lenara cleared her throat. "Welcome to Olaris, Commander." He nodded once. "Your planet has shown potential. We are here to evaluate further." "Evaluate?" she asked. "Evaluate for what?" Reese stared into her eyes. "Ascension." The meaning of ascension, Joral, the science advisor, spoke. "We found that word on one of your drones. What does it mean?" Reese answered without blinking. "Ascension is Earth's way of selecting. We do not build empires. We do not form alliances. We choose." Lenara asked, "Choose what?" "Worlds that can survive. Worlds that can grow. Worlds that can be useful. And if we are not useful, then Earth moves on. Sometimes it erases what it leaves behind." A heavy silence filled the room. "The questions begin. How many planets have you chosen?" asked Councilman Drex. Reese looked toward the window. 112, and counting. "Are they part of the Galactic Union?" "No, Earth is not Union. Earth is something else." He turned back to them. "Those who are chosen evolve." Testing the people, over the next week, Reese walked the cities of Olaris. No guards. No weapons. He walked among the people, and they watched him. He didn't smile. He didn't speak much, but he watched everything. How people treated each other. How the damaged cities were rebuilt. How the survivors remembered the dead. How the leaders gave orders. He saw the pain, the fear, the pride. A moment in the ruins one night, Reese visited the ruins of Varner, the city that was almost lost. He knelt before a destroyed school. Children's drawings still floated in the wind. A small girl stepped from behind a broken wall. She stared at him. "Are you going to destroy us too?" she asked. Reese looked at her, silent. Then he reached into his suit and handed her something, a small, glowing crystal, warm and light. "Not if you keep fighting," he said. Something more Lenara met Reese again, this time alone. "Why do you really care?" she asked. "You say Earth doesn't help, but you came, you stayed, you gave us power, you sent you." Reese was quiet for a long time. Then he spoke. "Because once, we were like you." "What changed?" He looked into the stars. "We stopped asking for help." The countdown continued. Days. Then 28. Every screen on Alaris showed the numbers dropping. Slowly, quietly, without a sound. But no one knew what would happen when it reached 0. Only one thing was clear. Earth was not done with them. Mysterious signal. On the 25th day, just after midnight, a strange signal was detected by Olarian satellites. It was faint, low frequency, and pulsing like a heartbeat. The signal was coming from beneath the surface, far below the ancient plains of North Varner. No one had built anything there in centuries. Commander Reese, still walking freely through Olaris, was informed. He simply said, "They found it." Digging begins. With permission from the Council, Olarian teams were sent to the signal site. Reese came with them, but said nothing, just watched. After hours of digging through rock and metal layers, they found it, a black cube, perfectly smooth, perfectly silent. No markings, no seams. It hummed with energy, familiar energy. Joral, the science advisor, scanned it and whispered, "It's the same signature as the crystal Earth gave us." Reese stepped forward and placed his hand on the high cube. For the first time, the cube responded. It opened. The gift inside was not a weapon. It was a machine. Small, floating, shaped like a disc. When Reese activated it, it rose into the air and projected a massive hologram. It showed stars, thousands of them, and then lines, routes, roads, gates between stars, new star systems, unseen planets, unknown galaxies. "What is this?" Lenara asked. Reese replied, "A map, a way forward." She stepped closer. "A map to where?" He turned toward her. "To join us." The truth about the gift Reese spoke to the full council later that night. His voice was calm, but different this time, less cold, more human. This is Earth's gift. Not power, not protection, but knowledge. He looked at the floating star map. This device connects you to the Gate Network, a system older than your planet, built by Earth. Hidden from the galaxy, reserved for only a few. Lenara frowned. "Why give it to us?" Reese stepped forward. "Because you fought when you had nothing. Because you rose when others fell. Because Earth sees something in you." He paused. "You may be ready." Warnings and promises. Reese raised his hand, and the hologram shifted, now showing other worlds, some glowing with light, others burning. Others, gone. Some were given this map. Few survived what came next. Councilman Drex asked sharply, "Is this a gift or a trap?" Reese stared at him. "That depends on what you become." Reactions. Across Olaris, news of the star map spread fast. Some people celebrated. "We're chosen!" Others were afraid. "What if it's a test?" Still others whispered darker thoughts. "What if Earth wants something from us? In secret?" Rooms. Some leaders began to plan. "We must understand this map, and how to control it, with or without Earth." They were right to worry, because Earth had not shared everything. The gate device. Activates 10 days before the countdown ended, the cube glowed brightly and began to pulse. A voice came from it. Not Reese this time, but a deep, synthetic voice. Gate initialization, Phase 2. Access point opening in 9 days. Lenara asked Reese directly, "What happens when the gate opens?" He looked out the window. New worlds, new enemies, new chances, and new ends. The human shows. Emotion that night, Lenara and Reese met privately. For the first time, she saw something different in him. He wasn't just a soldier. He was someone who remembered pain. "You've seen what happens when a planet fails the test, haven't you?" she asked. He nodded once. "I saw Earth erase 3 civilizations in my lifetime." She stepped forward. "Would they do that to us?" Reese didn't answer, but his silence said everything. The stars twisted open. The gate above Olaris stood wide and glowing, tall as a mountain, silent as death. Commander Reese watched from the edge of the observation tower. His jaw was tight. Jor-El looked through the scanner and whispered, "It's not human tech, but it knows about humans." From inside the gate, a voice came. It was not loud. It was not human. But it spoke Olarian. "We have been waiting for you." Something ancient across the planet. People stopped what they were doing. Screens lit up. Radios hissed. Devices activated on their own. And the voice echoed again. "You are not the first. You will not be the last. But you called Earth." Reese stiffened. Lenara turned to him. "You know that voice?" His answer was soft. "No one hears that voice and forgets it." Earth responds. Suddenly, both Earth ships above Olaris powered up. Drones launched. Defensive shields spread across the sky. The planet glowed under Earth's protection for the first time since the war. Then the transmission came in, straight from Earth Command. "Gate breach detected. Entity classified. Category Theta. Do not engage. Do not respond. Do not trust." Reese read the message silently. Then he turned to Lenara. "You are not being tested anymore. You are being noticed. Who is it?" Jor-El began decoding the incoming signal. The language changed. It spoke to every citizen in their own voice. It knew their names, their dreams, their fears. On a child's toy screen, it said, "You are strong, little one, stronger than your parents." On a soldier's helmet display, "You fought bravely, but you are not ready." And in Lenara's private chamber, "You will choose what happens next." She stared into the darkness. "Who are you?" she asked aloud, and the voice answered, "I am the one Earth fears, the history Reese." Hidris finally spoke the truth. There was once another, before Earth rose, a being, a mind older than time. Lenara narrowed her eyes. "A god? No. A memory, a survivor, a manipulator." He looked into the gate. "It doesn't destroy worlds. It whispers to them until they destroy themselves." She stepped closer. "And now it's talking to us." Earth's Dilemma Earth Command sent a final message. "Gate will be sealed unless Olaris resists the entity's invitation. This is your trial. Choose your future." But closing the gate meant cutting off access to the star map, to new power, new worlds, new hope. Lenara faced her council. Do we seal the gate or step into it? The first step against all fear, against all warning. Lenara made a choice. She stepped through the gate, alone. The other side, it wasn't space. It wasn't a ship. It was something between time and thought, a place where reality bent. Lenara found herself standing in a dark field under a broken sky. Across, from her, was someone. It looked human, but wasn't. Skin too perfect, eyes too still, voice everywhere. "Welcome, Linara of Olaris. You are early, that is rare." She didn't flinch. "Why are you here?" "Because Earth leaves behind broken pieces. I collect them, the bargain." The entity made her an offer. "Leave Earth. Leave their rules. Join something greater. I will give you what they never will. Freedom." Linara stood in silence. "If I say yes, then you rise above them all. If I say no, then Earth seals the gate, and you never know what you could have become." She looked down. There, glowing in her hand, was the Earth crystal she had been given long ago, and for the first time it was pulsing red. The gate was gone, closed, shut by Earth's command, and with it, so was Linara. The leader of Olaris had stepped into the unknown and vanished. Now, the planet stood alone. No more voices, no more messages, no more instructions from Earth, but the silence. Felt wrong, like something terrible was watching and waiting. The aftershock 10 days passed. No word from Linara, no signal from the gate. Earth's ships above Olaris went into low orbit, quiet and unmoving once more. The countdown was over. But nothing had happened, at least not yet. People started whispering again. Was she taken? Is Earth angry? Was the entity real? Or was this all just a game? In the streets, there was calm. But deep beneath the cities, tension grew like fire beneath stone. "Reese is gone." Commander Reese had vanished. No ship, no trail, no goodbye. One night he was seen walking into the Olarian desert. The next morning, he was gone. Some said he had returned to Earth. Others believed something else had called him. The council feared the truth. He had said they were being tested. So what was Phase 3? Preparing for the unknown, General Tern now led the council. He was strong, but not fearless. "We cannot sit and wait," he told them. "If something is coming, we fight it." Jaral, the science advisor, disagreed. "We don't even know what it is." Tern's reply was cold. "That's exactly why we prepare. Dreams start changing." Then the strange reports began. People across Olaris started having the same dream, each one different in details, but the same in feeling. Floating in black water, a sky full of frozen stars, a voice whispering, "You should have come with her." Children cried in their sleep, soldiers woke up screaming, and every single dream ended with one symbol burned into their minds. A red circle with 7 broken lines. Joral recognized it. It had been seen once before. In ancient ruins from a destroyed world Earth had erased. The symbol of the entity. A signal that shouldn't exist. Day 11. A small satellite picked up a signal. It wasn't from Earth, and it wasn't from the gate. It came from somewhere deep, within Olaris's own moon. A place never explored. A place thought to be empty. The signal was short. Phase 3 begins now. Council in crisis panic spread. "What does that mean?" Drex shouted. "Is this Earth testing us again, or is it the entity?" Joral's face was pale. "If the entity left something behind on our moon, then Linara never really left it. It followed her here." General Tern gave the order. "Prepare the fleet, lock down all cities, and whatever is in that moon, destroy it." They go to the moon, a strike team was sent up. Elite pilots, soldiers, and scientists. Joral joined them. They landed near a dark crater and began digging into the signal source. What they found was impossible. A doorway built into the moon itself, made of black metal older than Olaris, shaped like the same red circle with broken lines. Before anyone could react, it opened. The first contact, a figure stepped out, tall, thin, glowing red, veins under gray skin, eyes like empty mirrors. Not a Krylon, not human, not anything from known space. It looked at the soldiers. It did not speak, but every person there heard it inside their minds. She opened the way. You closed it. Now, you must pay for that choice. Then it vanished into dust, and the doorway started pulsing. Earth breaks the silence. For the first time in weeks, Earth sent a transmission. No voice, no images, just one warning. Do not open the gate beneath the surface. If it opens, you are no longer ours. The moon cracked, not from weapons, not from an explosion, but from something inside, waking up. Across Olaris, the ground shook. The sky darkened. Storms formed with no clouds. Electricity failed. Time itself felt slower. And far above, Earth's ships powered up for the first time in days. Earth was no longer silent. The final message from Linara Joral replayed the broken signal from Linara again and again. You must not fight it. You must... The message, always cut off. He isolated the sound, filtered background data, and finally uncovered 3 final words at the edge of the file. Let it choose. He stared in horror. Let what choose? Earth's command. Unlocks. Suddenly, a signal came from Earth Command, direct, encrypted, and final. It bypassed all Olarian firewalls. All screens across the planet lit up with red text. Final protocol. Engaged Olaris access level. Ascending mission. Tag. Project Hades. Action required. Planetary containment. Joral turned to General Turn. Earth is preparing to destroy us. The Council's last stand, Councilman Drex, slammed the table. Then we attack the moon. End this now. But Joral shook his head. No, this isn't just a threat. The entity planted something inside the moon long ago. Earth knew. That's why they sent Reese. That's why they gave us the crystal. This was never just about our survival. Turn said quietly. It was about sealing the entity. Forever. Drexy shouted. And Linara opened it! The moon gate opens in orbit. The cracked moon bloomed like a flower, giant panels unfolding, powered by red light. And from its core, something emerged. It had no shape, no face, no mass. But it bent space around it. Soldiers who looked directly at it fell to their knees. Ships turned to glass. Reality trembled. Earth's ships move. The 2 Earth ships above Olaris spread apart, forming a triangle with the moon. In their center, something began to form. A sphere of pure white energy. Inside it, a weapon, the last one Earth ever designed. Its name was written in the activation file, Apotheosis, Earth's final protocol. Begins Commander Reese's voice echoed again across the planet. But this time, it wasn't calm. It was full of pain. You were never the enemy, but the door was opened. And now, we must close it. Even if that means sealing you with it, General Turn whispered. They're going to wipe us out, just like the others. Linara returns, just as Earth prepared to fire. A new gate opened, this one small, flickering, and from it. Linara stepped through, but she was different. Her eyes glowed faint blue and red. Her voice echoed with something not human. Stop! The Earthships paused. Reese's voice responded instantly. You are compromised. Linara raised her hand. I am not theirs, and not yours. But I understand both. The choice Linara stood on the council floor, her voice calm. The entity offered us freedom. Earth offered us control, but neither offered us truth. We don't need protection anymore. We don't need destruction. We need to choose for ourselves. Behind her, the sky burned with light. The Earth weapon counted down. 9. Let us face it. The final battle, Olaris launched all remaining power into a single global shield, made of Earth tech and Olarian will. Soldiers stood together, even knowing it was the end. Children held hands in bunkers. Elders stared at the stars. And then, the entity struck, but so did Earth. And in the middle, Linara. What happened next? No one knows exactly what happened in those final seconds. Some say the entity was trapped again, sealed by Earth's weapon. Others say Linara absorbed it. Others believe Olaris became something new. What is known? The Earth ships vanished. The gate network shut down. The stars above Olaris changed shape, and a new signal appeared, a calm one. A voice, Linara's voice. We are no longer part of Earth. We are no longer watched. We are free, and we remember who gave us that chance. The ending. Hook 10 years later. A young child on Olaris plays in a green field. She wears a necklace with a red crystal, pulsing softly. Her parents call her inside. She looks up at the stars and whispers, "When we're ready, we'll come to you." And far across the galaxy, Single Earth satellite catches the signal. It blinks once, then goes dark.